Well, it's a beautiful day, as we've talked about continuously. It's a warm day, and I wonder what toll it's going to have on both sides. Certainly the Swans and the Giants, both with a couple of injuries concerns last week. This young team, let's see what they're made of, Jono. They've had some big games this year. To be honest, they've probably fallen short in a couple of those big challenges, so I'm sure they'll be just desperate to perform better than they did in that first half.
Yeah, definitely. When they were up sitting around 4th, 5th on the ladder, they had some big games in that period and they let themselves down. And look, this is it. This is their season on the line right here. Yes, they're going to rely on a couple of sides above them to lose over the next couple of weeks. You never know what's going to happen in this competition with the way it's unfolding. So the Giants have got a lot of work to do in this second half to get themselves and keep their season alive.
And for the Sydney Swans, of course, they can go on and consolidate here and have a victory. They'll be right in that mix for the double chance. They'll get some players back. Buddy Franklin, Tom Mitchell, another young man who's been in really good form, and Luke Parker, who's only an outside chance to play footy again this year. And
Craig Bird had a run around in the reserves again today, so there's another one who's quite a dominant midfielder when he's up and going and gets some consistent footy under his belt for the Sydney Swans. He got through with no worries at all. So with Buddy still to come back and a few others, Sydney plenty of upside, and there's Tom Scully, GWS, one of the leaders for the Giants.
Third quarter then becomes a critical one. If they can get it out of the middle with the dominance of blokes like this, then it's going to be very hard for the Giants to stop the Swans. McVeigh eventually is the man that kicks them in. Reid trying to manoeuvre himself. Marchbank did well in the first effort. Reid's follow-up was excellent. Crash and bash. We're seeing it early in this quarter. Now Wilson might have a problem here. He's gone to ground with the ball, but the umpire says it's okay. Phillips have to be careful not to infringe. Treloar with some uncertainty about what to do with it. He's bundled it up and got it to all the way to half forward. Laidler has it on his own terms here. He was a question mark coming in after last week, but he's up and got himself across the line. Shaw, deep again, Tippet. Oh, well, it was a bit Kurt Tippet, wasn't it? Oh, Heaney, what a pickup. Tippet has kicked 3 goals early. You talked about it from a few weeks ago, Jono. 3 goals in the first quarter against Adelaide, and he could easily have 5 or 6 today.
Oh, quite easily. I think he's getting good ball on the back of some good defensive setups from Sydney. Laidler there you talked about and talked about his fitness, but in terms of his setup being the last back, they haven't allowed Cameron to just get back and get behind their defensive unit this afternoon. So they'll have to watch that. They may pull the sub very quickly on McCarthy, you'd think, because they need to find a way to score, the Giants.
Teddy Richards. He'll just pump it back there, full of adrenaline to full forward. Reid gets a run. He's hard to stop. When he's got to run to the marking contest, he can leap and he can drag them down just like that.
2 big grabs in the second quarter, and now follows up with this one, Sam Reid. He's judged them well. He's looked strong this afternoon. He's taken some big marks.
Yeah, the aerial threat is significant from Sydney to the Giants, and he converts comfortably, and the lead is back out now. It's 30 points.
Big fast start here from Sydney. Here's Teddy Richards first. Gets the run, the jump. Big knee in the back of Mike Pike. And here's Reid with the run and jump also, and that's another strong grab. Went back and converted.
Yeah, Marchbank's had him for a fair bit of the time so far today, but Patfull was responsible then, and Patfull put no pressure on him. He gave him a clear run at it.
Contested marks are 11-2, so
yeah,
in favour of the Swans. It's going to be an issue as the game continues. Set bounce. Phillips set against Tippet. Tippet won the tap, and Adam Goods was charging away from goal, so he had to lay it off. He did to Jones. It's deep again. A couple of genuine one-on-ones, and Cunningham goes to ground with the ball, and he can line them up now.
Well, you talked about the contested mark ratio then, and how they're, what is it, 9-2 you said?
It was 11-2, 12-2.
Yeah, the last bloke you'd think in the forward line who's going to take the contested mark. Not the last, but there'd be a few more candidates, other candidates you'd throw forward before Cunningham.
So it's just about the conversion now.
Good grab, though.
There's no problems there. 2 smart goals in 3.5 minutes. Game high 37 points. And headaches for Leon.
It's been out of the middle of the ground. Once
Dominant
again,
tap.
Adam Goods has been working in that role all afternoon, coming in off the back of the square, trying to get involved. That's a strong grab by Cunningham. Bit going on in the middle of the ground at the moment, but you can see just there, big grab by Cunningham.
A little bit of byplay there before the ball got back to the centre. Jonathan Patton, who's not on the ball, came up into the centre, and he and Tippett jostled and had a few words. So play on.
Yeah.
Take that back.
He has to.
Yeah. If it doesn't bounce high enough, even if it doesn't go to the outer perimeter of the circle,
And
if it doesn't bounce...
And it gives a really decisive advantage to one of the ruckmen.
Derm, I think Patton came in and just told his midfielders that they have to start doing something in these centre squares because they're getting absolutely belted at the start of this quarter.
And Tippett didn't like it.
He said, no, don't change anything. I'm loving the way this is going. Adam Goods
knockdown.
recovered the ball for the Swans when it looked like it was heading the Giants' way. Smith inside again on Marchbank, didn't know where it was going. He did well, and he got great support, assistance from Nathan Wilson.
They can't find any ball at the moment. 19 disposals to 4 with 5 minutes played in this third quarter. 9 contested possessions, 10 uncontested possessions up. The Sydney Swans dominating early in this third.
Trying to isolate Sam Reid against Khaled Marchbank now.
Kieran.
Oh, got it.
That!
Right now we have the hallmarks. There's a syndrome in footy. You get to late in the year, the spring weather, it turns into a nice day, and it feels like the last or second last day of the year. And if you can't make finals, you know you're not going to win the game, and you believe you're not going to win the game, you say to yourself, oh, I'll still try. But as soon as you think that, you fall right off the perch, and teams just kick the sweep, take it away from you.
Well, the Giants still had plenty to play for going into this game.
Their season was well and truly alive. Yes, maybe relying on a couple others, but
if it's not there right now, they'll know that beautiful day like this, it's near the end of the year, and it's just too easy to give up now.
Well, they need to respond, and
they do
with urgency, and that doesn't help. Williams is down. The Swans are charging forward. Hanbury puts it on a plate. Goods, I think, got a little bit caught in betwixt and between. Back there is Marchbank. Now to Shaw. They've at least one possession coming out of defence. So can they control it for a moment or two?
Need to get some hands on it, don't they? 6 possessions. That's Zach Williams. He's got one on the side of the head there.
Kick goes up to the wing. Cameron has been contained.
That's been the scenario a lot of the day so far. The ball gets to that half-forward line. It's a serious outnumber in favour of the Swans.
Griffin through to Ward. Patton holds off in the goal square. Cameron waiting to make his move. They both move at the same time into that pocket. Richards knew it was coming. Cameron got there. Enough to affect the contest. Here's Zach Jones, can scoot away. Kick was weighted for Cunningham on the bounce. Wilson with almost a slam tackle, but it's got the ball back in friendly hands. Treloar with the setup to Kelly. That was too difficult. And Cunningham with the rugby style.
Let's have a look at that centre bounce and watch Big Tippo come in.
Sort of got him with the whole body.
Yeah, it's like a
good powerful
body block.
physical play.
It was.
Yep.
Kennedy.
That's what you want your big blokes to do. Yep. Knock them around a bit, Hutto.
Rampy to Jeddah. Coming out of defence again. Towers.
That's a brilliant kick from Jeddah. The difficulty with that kick is a 9 out of 10, and he just performed it perfectly.
And that's 10 out of 10 from Towers and Tippett on the same wavelength and right into the space.
This could have happened at the start of the second quarter. They just didn't kick accurately.
Let it go, guys. Let it go.
Real issues for the Giants right now. It's been a real domination in this third term. 7 inside 50s to 1. It's already produced 3 goals And it's about to produce another behind.
What a build-up. The umpire telling Thomas Bugg to settle down, and he's
just getting a little bit chirpy down here at the moment, Derm. He's right in Henneberry's ear at the minute.
Yeah. Lewis Jetta came over and said, "I'll police this and sort it out." I don't know what he was going to do, but he was over there.
Barely took the mark.
Hold out.
It's been paid, Whitfield. From out of the shadows into the sunlight on the wing. Genuine one-on-one, and it's easy for Heath Grundy. He just got Patton where he wanted him and protected the space. Takes the mark, sends them back forward again. Williams should be able to take this one. Oh, it got spoiled by his own teammate.
See, Haynes' vision should have seen that Williams was there. He says, "Sorry now." Should have been able to see with the vision the angle he was coming from.
Just 3 goals for the Giants in 2.5 quarters. Cornelio back to the wing. Patton. And the ball's going to stay in. Smith. Grundy.
Cannot get a ground ball, the Giants, forward of the centre.
Shaw. They've taken them from one side to another. That's, oh, not a free kick. Yeah. Haynes. Williams. High ball. This has actually landed okay for Cameron. He just couldn't get to the spot.
That was a tired attack on the footy.
Lloyd for Towers again. This time Shaw intervenes. Got the arm across. Shaw got away with the ball. Cornelio really challenged by that kick. It was tough going. Treloar comes again. They have to dig deep. They've got to find some winners in somewhere on the ground and stop burning the ball. Laidler hacks it inside 50. Tippet again. Core getting nervous. Here's Reed. A hurried handball from Jack. Marchbank slams it back to the wing. It's about all they can do. They're, well, just holding them
pressure,
up. Yeah.
Every time they get the ball, they're closed up. Pressure's on, making it very difficult. We're not seeing any of their wave running. That was such a highlight at certain stages throughout the season, the Giants.
Kelly takes it out. 21 disposals for Heath Shaw, 19 for Ryan Griffin.
There's your boy Moons, Sunshine.
Best nickname in the game, isn't it?
No, he's a ripper.
Look, it's just got to go get him on now, don't they? If they've got any chance of coming back, they've got to get him on.
The chances quickly dissipating as Darren McVeigh streams in for another.
It was just too easy from McVeigh. Look at him there. He's just sticking the tongue out, going, this is just turning into easy ball around the contest. We can run and do exactly what we like. There he is on Treloar, loses contact, steps out the back. Treloar's no chance to get back and pick him up. That's just way too easy. Even Karen Jack has time to come out of that stoppage and put a block on. And it's just not good enough from a GWS point of view. There's Jack working through, gets the first position, comes around, puts a block on. McVeigh, way too easy.
Surely now, Moons, they have to pull the trigger on McCarthy.
Oh, look, I would have put it just before half-time, to be honest. Hudon got him onto the ground. And I know, Dern, we talked about that ruck situation that they had, but I just think they needed some enthusiasm up in their forward line. And like I said, I've been watching him prowl up and down this up around this boundary line all day, and he's desperate to get on there. I think if you want to get back into this game in any way, you need someone there who's going to come at the ball and provide you a contest.
Domination of this quarter by the Swans, 11 inside 50s for 4 goals. And the Giants, this is the second inside 50 for no score.
Kelly tried to see off Richards, but couldn't. The best you could hope for is out of bounds. They still might get that after the smother. Jones. Richards. They're attacking off halfback, springing forward again. Cunningham putting it out in front of Towers. Negotiated okay that time, but the trouble hasn't passed yet for Core. He's got under pressure from Reed. Lays a big tackle. Wilson. And the umpire says no, it's a ball up.
Good tackle. Well done by Nathan Wilson to absorb the tackle and not cough the ball up. They just seem to have, when the ball gets into the back line, even whether it's congested or in free flow, the Swans have an extra 1 or 2 players.
Very lucky again, the Giants. Sydney's work around the stoppages have been great. Goods was blocked ball then. He actually hit the stoppage. perfectly, and that's a poor kick, but Goodsey should have actually had a decent shot at goal then.
Cornelio went and won it for his team. They need more of that. Haynes. It's there for Palmer, and now back for Kelly. You heard the call. Jones will get there first. Griffin sweating on him.
Had a look over his shoulder, didn't he?
He played it okay, although the kick to Heaney, as you saw, didn't quite hit the spot. Treloar with the first move and the second. Outstanding. He's bouncing. He's sending it forward for Patton. Came at the ball. Had to be a free, didn't it? No?
Well, he didn't punch the ball. He grabbed the wrist.
Thought he just grabbed the arm. Top mark for Aiden Court. He's bounding away, but the Swans discipline not freeing up a giant player for Court to link with here, and he doesn't know what to do. He's quickly running out of options.
The forwards ran out of steam then. Nobody could present to him.
Shaw comes across and gets it to Whitfield. Now maybe there's a way forward for them here. Mark taken by Toby Green, but it's stop-start stuff.
He's pretty sore after that contact too, Patton. Dermy, he's landed fair on his hip. He's really struggling to move at the moment. Looks like Cameron's just about to, McCarthy's about to come on down here, guys.
Williams.
I would say it'll probably be Lobb.
Oscar Elliott. Wilson. Here's Lobb. Rampy, about to be tackled. Spinning, spinning. Head was spinning too. Jones did well in the end.
He's not the exorcist.
And they're going to get away. Zach Jones enjoying his opportunity. Was until then. Nick Smith hacks it back to the wing. Oh, Kurt Tippett.
Getting better, isn't he? Even around the ground now.
Just a quick update on the sub, guys. Nick Haynes is the one that's been subbed out. He's been pretty crook, I think. He was down here on the boundary line, bringing up a little bit of fluid a little bit earlier, Dome.
Yeah, well, we saw him in the rooms, and we're not in. They allowed us in there, and we're not really allowed to say things we see in there if they give us that privilege. And we saw him go into the medical officers in there, so yeah, there's no surprise there.
It's very genteel the way Moose explained it too, wasn't it? Just bringing up fluid. I like that.
Is it a fluid or lunch?
Great tackling by McVeigh. Earned the free. They can't take a trick at the moment, the Giants. They're just too good, the Swans. Way too good.
Well, they're winning so much of the footy and they're clinical with it in their use. The Giants can't put enough pressure on them to make them cough up a bad kick, make them miss the target and dispossess them. So they're just denying the Giants the footy, and they're winning it when it is in dispute.
Brandon Jack. Good performance from him last week. Kicked a couple of goals.
There's a little high step on the first.
Gee, he kicked the ball a long way. Pity it's almost missed the lot.
Have a look at how Johnny Patton is going. Goes for the mark.
It's a free kick.
How could that not be a free? And he lands on that right hip. He's a bit sore out of it.
I know there's lots of mistakes that happens. But
that's easy to see, that one.
That was astonishing.
Yeah.
Phillips.
And the umpire was only 7 or 8 away.
50 points the margin. Kicks it back to the wing. Cameron will leap in the pack. Rampy had claims on it as well. He was first up and about and tries to take on the world.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Dane.
There he is, Sunshine.
Might have been blindsided.
Pike slapped it down. Bug so close to Hanbury. Kennedy. Just inch by inch they work it forward. One jack to another. Whitfield. Wilson held without it. That's not a free either. Oh, that's a throw. There's about 100 frees in there. They didn't pay any of them. At least they're consistent. And the ball bounces through for a behind.
No, handballs. Handballs the whole way. Right there, Dean. Thanks, Sam. Right on it.
Shaw. To half back. Picks out Ward. Oh, Heaney's all over him. Clambering for it. Well done, Heaney. Rode the first couple, but Cornelio. A decisive handball to Green. Patton was going to give him a chop out. Instead, it was a handball to Whitfield. Another fumble. Got himself into it. Can he get himself out? No, not really. Green, contain. Bugs tackling a teammate.
Yes. That's fair to say. He just wanted to lock that in, didn't he?
They look tired now, Jono, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They've got no run,
Guys, straight back here.
especially through the midfield of the ground. Sydney are right on top here in stoppages. They're working well out of the contest. McVeigh is doing well. Cunningham's coming up as the fifth, as well as Heaney. So the forwards, which their class is 4 and 5, coming up to the contest to add an extra number in, are working really effectively at the moment for the Sydney Swans.
Hey, Moons, your boy Sunshine, he stripped the vest off a little while ago, but he still can't get on.
5 minutes ago, he's been standing here looking, he's yelling at everybody to come off, but unfortunately, he can't get back on at the minute.
Whitfield, as they advance, finally into the 50, not with a lot of conviction. Tough one to handle for Kelly.
Look at the numbers Sydney get around the footy.
Outnumbered, and it just made the job so difficult. Treloar took them on, and a dainty little pass was good to Patton. And now they can make that change and get McCarthy onto the ground, and more importantly, hopefully get a decent shot for goal here from John Patton.
Still not on.
Clear out, please. Other side.
Rampy has pulled up a bit sore, maybe a dislocated finger.
What you like?
McCarthy earned some cheers
15, go on, John.
for getting his chance, or maybe it's more of a shoulder for Rampy looking at that. He's staying out there just for the time being. John Patton for the first score for the Giants of this third quarter. It needs to work its way back, and it does. It obeys the instructions. Finally a goal.
Solid kick, able to create the turnover at centre-half forward. The Giants, Sydney, you caught it, they had numbers everywhere, but were able to create a turnover and then get some good ball use going inside 450. First one today, where Patton was able to get his full body out in front. And it's just here, they're out the Swans, but there you go, Lockie Whitfield, big smother.
But it's the grit of Treloar who's able to make space to get the clean little kick away, and for one of the few times he spotted up the target. Short, hard lead up, short kick.
Lockie Whitfield.
Nice smother to keep the ball in the forward line.
From the centre bounce.
I staggered at how, that's going to be another rebound here, but I'll throw up. But how he's so good, Kennedy, at getting in that close to the ruckman and receiving the ball.
Yeah.
The reflexes for that are insanely sharp.
Treloar the third up, but it only went to the advantage of Goods. Gets involved with McVeigh. The next handball not so flash. Rampy a bit uncertain. There's Giants have encircled them here. Maybe that can create something. Zach Jones looks like he's really building with his confidence. Running out of defence. Goods through the thick of the trouble. Was that in the back on Hanbury? No, play on. Tippett's lunging around. McVeigh finally cleared the mess. Back to the wing. Oscar Elliott feeding Treloar.
He's getting a bit of a Treloar.
Yep, Patfull. It's a wide entry, and McCarthy got frustrated, just threw Rampy away because he couldn't get to the contest. And Teddy Richards has been doing that for a few years now.
He's having a good quarter, Teddy Richards. Had the six
adventurous kick.
disposals that he is. I'm not sure whether that's part of Sydney's game style.
Advantage. Whitfield has to kick cleanly for Griffin or Patton.
I think the other thing with Kennedy too, Derm, he's had Ward, he's had Griffin, Caniglio, he's had Bug. He's had all four of these guys do the merry-go-round on him, and in my opinion, he's taken every single one of them to the cleaners when it comes to stoppages.
Tippett gets it down. Here's an opportunity. Caniglio has to rush the handball for Ward. Still tough going. Stand, start, Bug. Not clean, as you saw. Kennedy going to be hampered, but Tippett wasn't ready for it. He'll keep going, Kennedy, and provide an option. Shaw. Kennedy's still there for him, or he was. Now he's shut down straight away, Shaw. And that is holding the ball under any rules of the game.
Big tackle by Reece Palmer. You can see there with the grimace as well. It's a big hit. Oh, yeah,
head on head.
On.
We might get a bit of claret here, I'd say.
Yeah, didn't have a chance to turn his head, get it into the safe position.
He might have got that on the comp.
Hold on, Reece. Okay, time back one. Thanks, Josh. I'll do that.
Reece on Reece.
Play on.
Palmer, and here is Heathshaw. Has he got enough on the kick? Well, it's wide anyway. Just the one. Takes them to 4-6-30, and the margin is 44 points.
This will be interesting. They've got a full press on here, the Giants. Let's see how easily or whether they get through with the Swans. So one kick from kick in. Extra trot down the line.
Yeah, tippy toes. Oh, big Pike. They couldn't get it over him, around him.
He's in no hurry.
Through him.
Big Mike Pike, happy to keep things just nice and slow, nice and easy.
Jetta just cruising past. Didn't get all of the kick. It's going to go close to the line. Reed. Well done, Marchbank. Comes for Green. Now, he can run and share it. It's a matter of who he was going to handball to. Oh, Treloar, that was a bit sloppy. Marchbank, by the time he released it, he was under all sorts of duress. And Shaw marching forward, delivers it perfectly onto the chest of Kieran Jack. Oh, and he chips it. So unmarked Swans everywhere. Cunningham will have the final shot for goal.
Moons, that unfolded right in front of you. It looked like there they were going to get their wave going for the first time, the Giants, but Sydney once again closed it up and caused the ineffective disposal.
Well, it was a bit of close. It was just a sloppy handball, though, John. I mean, that's just an easy AFL standard handball to your right-hand side by Treloar, and he put it on the ground. You just can't have your elite players, your best players through your midfield, just doing poor decisions and poor skills like that through the middle of the ground.
So Cunningham is enjoying himself in front of goal this afternoon. Put that through for his third goal. And the margin back to 50.
The Swans got a bead on Marchbank when he came through there. Now, you know that when the team's down this far, they're going to try and take some risks and go through the middle. So the Swans, look at the convergence of the red jumpers to him. 5 get to 1, and then a couple of Giants come in late. And that's, I mean, it doesn't look like a perfect pass, but if you're a forward, you want them at the knees.
And it's not giving up on your run either. Cunningham was next to Shaw. Gets right through, the breaks 50, continues his run, and good on Kieran Jack for sharing the ball around. Sydney here will be looking for a big percentage boost if they can, fighting for a top 4 spot, and they're 10% behind the Western Bulldogs at the start of this round. So if they can get a big win here this afternoon, it certainly helps them in their endeavours to reach top 4.
That was a great jump by Phillipson. That's the first time he's really put the knee right into Mike Pike. Or was it, yeah, it was Mike Pike, and just made a 0-all draw spill. They come together now, clash. Ah, he's a brute, this bloke, isn't he?
He is, and look at the advantage they gained from him. Lloyd, here's Tippett.
Oh, strong.
Take the mark, Curtis. Yeah, take the mark. Yeah.
Turn around as a forward, you take confidence when you take a big mark and 2 key defenders are on the ground behind you.
That's it, Kurt.
Well, this has been an impressive performance by the Sydney Swans, and there's certain players that love to have big afternoons, and one of them's this bloke. He's kicking for his 4th goal, Kurt Tippett.
Look at the spread of hands.
What about the space Lloyd had off the back of the contest?
And that'll do it. It's through for another. 56 points the difference now. It's been a bit of a dirty day for Leon Cameron and the young Giants.
See this, the hands over the footy just shows you how big the man is, the size of his hands. Remember when Stewie Lowe used to hold the footy? This is Kennedy, power, still able to get it out. Nice cut through, straight lead up there. Marchbank tries to cut across. Ooh. Good hands. Look at the size of the hands on the footy.
You buckets.
The big boudoir. Not needed today.
Not needed.
Not needed.
Not required.
Yeah.
56 points the difference. He'll be enjoying seeing Kurt Tippett kick some goals. Certainly will help Buddy out. Now, it's gone a long way in the air. Not sure how far it actually went in terms of from point A to point B, but Pike takes the mark.
They can be patient with Buddy, but if he comes back and the seriousness of that back injury, we'll wait and see on his return and how he actually does come back, and if he can get himself up and going and playing some big footy leading into September.
Hanbury couldn't get clear of Bug, who got it to Green. Not sure if it was intended for Green or for Treloar.
They got sloppy now, haven't they?
Yep. 6 goal to 1 quarter this from the Swans.
Treloar's been pretty good around the packs this quarter for the Giants. His defensive work hasn't been great.
He's had 9 disposals himself.
So Kennedy ran past him there, didn't try and tackle him.
He's a man playing amongst boys there in these stoppages at the moment.
That's right.
Shaw, Heaney, Tippett again for Brandon Jack. It was there for him to burn away and then angle the kick at goal.
In the back, he's poked.
So what about the Swans, boys? What have you seen today in terms of their season and games to come?
Well, I think their work rate, their mindset's been very, very strong from the outset. Actually, Moons and I picked that up in the warm-up today, seeing them. They were led by McVeigh and Jack. And these guys, just before they started their warm-up, got them together and really sparked them up and tried to get just that mental approach to this game at the highest point. They've done that, and it's shown out from minute one. Their work rate, their pressure, closed the Giants up. I think they've been outstanding in their performance, the Swans.
So here's Brandon Jack to make it 7 goals to 1 in this third term. And he's done it too. There's a lot to like about this performance from the Swans. Floodgates have opened now.
Yeah, look, the thing for me, the big win for Sydney, admittedly, there's no Phil Davis there.
Yep.
So you write down the I suppose, the win that Kurt Tippett's had today. But the fact he's getting his hands on the footy around the ground and he's been willing to... today's one of those days when he understands the body mass he has, the size he has, the power he has, and he's bullied his opponents today. And there's no reason why he can't do that against competent backmen, because literally he will never play against a backman who is as big as him. That's the big bonus for me today. He's run into a bit of form. Yeah, that's not against a Phil Davis or anyone like... Aiden Corr's a very good player, but he's 90 kilos, 6'4", 90 kilos, 193, 194. He's a big, rangy, speedy flanker. Now, he's bashed him up, but Tippett's in form. Tippett gets a good feeling about the game out of this, and that spells a really good place for the...
How do they divide his time, in your mind, Derm?
I think he's got better as he spent more time in the ruck. So I think they keep doing it.
Cornelio, bag.
Mike Pike isn't winning as much footy in the air when he goes forward.
Well, that's a comprehensive performance from the Sydney Swans. Got right on top and rubbed the nose in the dirt, the Giants, on their own dunghill here. 7 goals, 3 in that quarter to just 1-1. Slim pickings for the Giants. And it's big brother leading little brother by 62 points at three-quarter time. Well, the footy world have been waiting for the Sydney Swans to show that they are a real premiership chance. And while today won't necessarily convince anyone, the signs are good. Players old and young have been in excellent touch. Cunningham and Tippett, the major goal kickers, with Tippett booting 4 and Cunningham 3, but they've had great run. Their midfield has been outstanding, led by Josh Kennedy with 27 disposals and Jared McVeigh with 26. Adam Goods has had 18 as well. Heath Shaw and Cornelio probably the main 2 players to show any resistance for the Giants, who are 4-6-30, and the Sydney Swans, after a massive third term, 14 goals, 8, 92. The margin, 62 points, Dermot Brereton and Brad Johnson.
One area, Jono, which really honed in on is inside the Giants' forward 50. The ball, when it goes to ground, the Giants have only picked it up 8 times. The Sydney Swans defenders have got 25 ground ball gets inside the Giants' forward line. They cannot get the ball off the deck, and for the amount of times they go in there, it's not good enough.
We talk about the stars all the time for Sydney. Some of the younger players have played extremely well, especially in that third quarter. Brandon Jack had a very good quarter.
Let's get an insight into the message from the Swans. Moon's caught up with Stuart Dew just moments ago.
Stewie, fantastic third quarter, particularly in front of goal. You just finished off your good work.
Yeah, second quarter didn't quite get the reward, and you know, in the general sense, our whole year, third quarter's been poor, so it was good. Made mention at half time, they responded.
Your man up, big fella up forward, Tipper's just having a big day out the mate. Really great presence.
Yeah, he's been good, actually, pretty solid last 4 weeks, so hitting the scoreboard, ruck work's been good, so yeah, it's nice.
The sub's been made. What can you tell us about young Rose?
Yeah, Rosie's pretty lively, so hopefully he can snare a goal for us, but he's got a few specials and yeah, he's got 30 minutes to show us something.
Good on you, Stewie. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
There he is, James Rose.
Number 1.
185 centimetres and listed at 79 kilograms.
Was picked 37 in last year's NAB draft from South Australia, from Sturt.
Reading about him today, Hutto, I hadn't heard this about a player before. He was called a hybrid of Jack Gunston and Dyson Heppel. So I don't know how to take that. I really don't.
They're aiming pretty high, straight up.
They're playing for the White Ribbon Trophy, the Sydney Derby, of course, and the Brett Kirk medal at the end of the game. And it's all about...
I'm voting on that.
Yeah, no, very good. It's the White Ribbon, of course, all about violence against women and domestic violence and awareness to make sure the I Swear campaign to make sure that we wipe out violence against women. So it's a fantastic cause, and all the clubs do great things for the community.
We saw the Hercules fly over before the game with the white ribbon attached to the side, painted on the side.
Gee, it was low.
Well, I've never seen Jono jump so high either,
didn't I, Moons?
It was embarrassing.
Little Frady cat.
Tippett kicks to half forward.
Good attack at it by Caleb Marchbank.
There's Rose in the number 1. Towers to half forward. Griffin. Oh, Rose almost was about to have a shot for goal.
He was Johnny on the spot, wasn't he?
James on the spot, he would have been. Instead, it's Heath Shaw doing the hard yards.
See Heath Shaw organising as players went back parallel to him. He said, no, you don't go back there yet. He's organised them to go forward, and then you can run back there, but don't go back there because that'll choke us, and it doesn't give me a chance to play on through there.
We know he's got the pretty decent contract to go and join the Giants, but when they do get some success, whether it be next year or the year after, and start playing finals footy, he'll have really earned his passage, won't he, Heath Shaw?
Oh, he's been very good for them. I was actually thinking that today. What are they down now? 62 points. If he's not out there today, at this moment, they're probably another 30 points behind. They're 80 to 90 points down.
Palmer back to the wing. Canelio. Fly from Rose. Here's McCarthy. Flipped it over to Canelio. Griffin has to respond quickly. He did. Straight across the ground, perhaps. Back into the middle of the ground, and it's Patfull. It's got Treloar fanning out wide. Goes via Whitfield. It does get to Treloar eventually. On the brink at 60, you had McCarthy or Cameron, and he went for Jeremy Cameron.
They got effect from the switch, and they were able to use the ball very effectively, the Giants, on that occasion.
So, just on that, the ball hasn't been in Sydney's hands since Heath Shaw affected that turnover in the back half. He told Caleb Marchbank, no, don't go across there, because he knew what he wanted to do. I mean, in its own way, that's leadership and knowing this sport, knowing the game, and they get it to the other end because of it.
Cameron's kick is curling back smartly for a much-needed goal. Belated goal.
Let's have a look at this, Adam Treloar. And I made mention he's played a really good attacking game, but defensively, not so great. Watch this. Now, here's Treloar. Just watches the ball, and there you go. Bang. And that's not a great... And even peels away from charging into the shepherding player. That's when I say he hasn't played a great defensive midfield game.
Everyone presumes that the Giants will move on and challenge for finals footy and probably play finals footy next year. Is it a fait accompli, Jono, in your mind, which is with the development that they'll be in the finals next year?
Oh, no, definitely not. It's going to take a lot of hard work. The improvement's going to have to go to another level, a significant level once again for them to be able to achieve that next year, because
it'll be interesting.
There's going to be sides that are going to get some favourable draws that are going to be in and around them again that will continue to push this side to the limits.
Well, that is one thing that they will have, is probably a decent draw again. So he kicks into the pocket, Cameron. What will be interesting is the ball does stay in for the moment. Now it's out. Is what they do post-season. Do they
with their trades?
Yeah. Do they go and find another ruckman? Do they find a key defender?
Well, what they have got in their academy is Hopper and Kennedy, two very young, talented players in the competition who will have an impact, you'd think, in their first year. That's where their development's at. So They're going to have to give up a bit to make sure they can achieve that and get their academy players in.
So it'd be hard for them to get anything more than that then?
Pretty much.
You've seen Hopper? Because
Yes,
I've
I have.
heard massive raps on him. It's very rare.
Very
There-
hard. Like,
there might be-
if just say Treloar does leave, for example, if that happens, Hopper can come in and pretty much fill that void in the way that he attacks the contest.
yeah, maybe in the competition we might have one, or every second year we might have two absolute rookies who come in their first game and impact the competition. What I'm hearing is the kid Hopper is one of those.
But
Like
Sydney
an
are
Ollie
going
Wines.
to get a better one, and that's Callum Mills. And the work they've done with him over the last few years with their academy has been just as good, just as strong. And they're going to have to obviously be very diligent in the way they go about it as well, the Sydney Swans, to be able to achieve that, to get Mills in, to obviously work through their trade restrictions and if they're lifted. So there's a bit to play out for both these sides with their academies in the next few weeks.
Umpire Curtis.
Yeah.
Du Bois came in and told Tommy Budd, just be careful.
Yep, there's a bit of a stern warning there. Now Richards escapes from defence, guiding it for Jack. Hoskin Elliott fists it over the boundary line.
This was earlier in the day, the White Ribbon Cup.
Do you want to reenact your response, Jono?
Yeah, no, I was okay with that one. It's when it flew over the middle of the ground. It was one of those where I looked up and I didn't expect it, and there it was, and I may have jumped a little bit. Don't let Moons just say that he didn't move either.
You never wanted to be a war correspondent.
He was staunch, come on.
Here's McVeigh flashing towards goal. Tippet, yes!
The free
Mark
kick
or
one
free
way.
kick. I think he blew the whistle for the free kick.
Once again, 105 kilos up against 90, and he was able to push him around before he marked it.
They're all lined up. He's got a
It
stare.
doesn't look like 5 metres.
Doesn't, but the goal square's 10, so I guess that's the guide. And that's 5.
Well done, he's played well, but he's been able to perform that craft inside 50 because Mike Pike, I think, has been better today around the ruck, around the stoppages. So Kurt Tippett now swaps over with Pike.
So that's
a strong
108
grab.
kilos.
That's a very strong grab.
108 kilos v 90. Let's have a look at this, and this is where
Earlier
Phillips
on,
wasn't competitive and then got on the run earlier.
how good's this look? You see here, out the back of the stoppage, launches it from 60.
From a step inside the square, Jono.
That's a big kick.
It's a bomb.
Day out for Kurt Tippett. 8 marks, 5 goals, 2. Margin back to 61 points now. Lob. A bit of volleyball action. Williams. Griffin. So they make it to the 50 with the kick, but it was well contained again by Nick Smith. He's had another very good year. Maybe not quite as good as last year,
Does he
but
go back-to-back with all Australian spot?
be in contention.
He would be in contention, but he just seems to have just done his job as he always does, but there hasn't been as much talk about him this year, maybe because the expectation is that he just beats his opponent every week and goes about it in such a professional manner.
Well, their defence has been under some stress at times this year. There's been some of their one-on-one numbers haven't been great in the middle of the year, but I guess that's what we're really looking for from the Swans over these next few weeks. Are they going to get something like back to their best? Griffin tries to get things charged for the Giants. Treloar back to Griffin again. Went through a few options in his mind and eventually settled on Cameron. Richards has done pretty well to defy him.
He just whacked
He did.
Laidlaw there.
Not happy. Cameron and Laidlaw's in the wars.
He's looking at him now laughing. Get up, he's telling him.
Giving him a mouthful.
Teddy Richards has played very well on him today, though.
Talking about all Australian small defenders, is Heath Shaw a lock?
Possibly.
Oh, yeah, possibly a lock.
Possibly.
Probably doesn't sound like a lock. Then,
No, it's
does it?
probably not a lock.
They're all possibles. Give it a yay or nay. Let's have a look. Here it is. Jeremy feeling angry, pushing the back, runs on.
Oh, yeah, just a little bump. Well, it's more than a little bump, isn't it?
I think it was really unexpected, wasn't it, for Laidlaw? But not a lot to worry about, I wouldn't have thought.
Nothing to worry about, hello.
Apparently you're allowed to do that sort of stuff all the time these days. They don't pick them up for it.
No.
There's just no need for it. In the old days, that would be self-policed, and the umpires would leave you to sort it out and self-police it. These days, because of the adjudication of the sport, you can't do anything about it, and it's that area of the game has drifted out.
There's the disposals. Kennedy with 30, McVeigh with 29. And then 3 Giants players, Shaw, Cornelio and Treloar, finding plenty of ball this afternoon.
So that is 8 times in a row. Oh, Griffin tried to stare down Hanbury. In the end, he had to submit and just handball and hope for the best.
That might work.
It might get there. What a path. It doesn't quite crawl over the line. Would have been one extraordinary goal. Smith. Goods versus Patfull. Did all but take the mark. Hanbury almost got in his way there. Eventually found an all too easy pass. And here's the young man, James Rose. And he's prepared to put the moves on to get around Wilson and kick to half forward.
He's got a step there, Jono.
He's got good agility. You can see that with that movement. Well, he won't forget that. His first kick in league footy is away.
He looks like a composer. Looks like a young Beethoven. With his hair, he does. Yeah, those old marble busts of the old composers. He looks like one of them.
I was going to say, have you seen a lot of photos of Beethoven?
Look at him. He could be up there with
you know who he reminds me? I'm watching Harry Potter at the moment at home with my little man.
Yes.
Of course you are.
Yeah, what's his name?
I'm trying to work it out for you right now, hello? Yeah. Malfoy.
Big tackle laid by McVeigh. What's been the best thing, perhaps other than Kurt Tippett, about this performance from the Swans today, Dan?
Pressure on. The Giants have their main weapon. I mean, they've got some talent up forward, but they are very good at running the ball in waves, as we know. But their pressure applied to that area of the ground and have never really given the Giants a chance to run and carry at any stage.
Good control of the footy there by the Swans. Jetta now to have the shot.
Quietest game for Jetta in quite some time. He's been in pretty good form for Sydney. Only the 8 disposals today. Yet to have a shot at goal.
Well, they haven't needed him today, have they? You would have thought it would be the sort of occasion he would enjoy with his midfielders right on top. And he's missed that one conclusively. It's through for another minor.
Spent most of the day out on a wing, opposed to a combination of Whitfield and Josh Kelly's had to stand against him for a fair bit of the time.
Well picked up by Cunningham.
Well
read.
Pressure.
Towers to Jack, to McVeigh. One after another. Rose! He rode it beautifully! And the young man's kicked a goal!
He's happy, Hutto. Here they come. I love this.
Don't just get around him, get on top of him.
Yes.
Poor old Teddy Richards is looking. He's 150 metres away going, should I, shouldn't I?
He's just done the clap in the middle of the ground.
He wanted to, Jono. He wanted to. He thought, no, too far.
He's the only one who didn't go, Moons.
I reckon young James Rose looked up and saw Mike Pike about to jump on the pack of celebration as well. I thought, no, not you as well.
Let's go, trainer, please. Thank you. Give him time.
Good work, good goal. Gotta love that, don't you? Come on, Teddy Richards, you've got to get down there.
Nah, he's really no, Teddy stands out. He's one in the crowd. It's really enjoyable to see. That happens at club footy. We talk about the money in the sport and the professionalism, but it comes back to that tribal instinct, doesn't it? When you see a kid kick his first goal, and it's just like in the local in the burbs. Same feeling.
Hanbury's away. Well, as we said, if it wasn't for this man, the score could be a whole lot worse for the Giants.
67, yeah, could be horrendous.
Oscar Elliott, he's another who
Keep going.
needs footy. He needs to find the ball more, Derm. And we don't doubt his talent. He's just had the 6 disposals this afternoon. And unfortunately, it's all too familiar story.
Let's have a look at the ladder now, what this does to the Swannies and the live ladder here, climb up to 4th, 116.7. Started this round with 112.5. 4 percentage points they've climbed up, as well as the game points.
And they've got St Kilda and the Gold Coast Suns to come. So, gee, it makes tomorrow's game massive between the Bulldogs and the West Coast Eagles. Looking forward to that one in the twilight. Doom, we're heading over for that one.
Yeah, can't wait.
Shaw takes the mark at half back. Gets it to Jetta. Core almost wheeled it in. Rose got a free, I reckon, the young man. Yep.
Take a bomb, son.
Yeah, we'll see here. Let's see if he's got a leg on him or not.
Take a talk. Yes, he's going back.
Yes, good.
He's turned his back on it.
Don't look at any of your teammates.
Yeah. Well, Harry said to him, mate, well, we saw the step on him. That was nice. Let's see if we've got a leg on him as well. He's going to kick from 52-3 to the line. He'll have to carry that. So he'll have to get this flying about 60 metres.
James Rose.
Yeah.
Not going to be a goal.
That's one decent head of hair, isn't it?
It is.
He's another one, Doom. I think you mentioned a weird run-up earlier with Brandon Jack. He's another one who just does that awkward little step halfway through his run-up.
Yeah, it's like the Mark Wood run-up for the English bowler.
Yeah.
Kieran Jack flips it out for Rampy now. He's almost within range. It's a low ball for Rose again. And Rose rises and takes the mark.
Against Nathan Wilson. And his teammates come in to support him as the opposition teammates in Sydney go in to support Rose.
He's become quite the little story of the last quarter, hasn't he?
Could you play yourself into the team?
Into finals contention.
He's got that little step there. Yeah.
Oh, he's got it. That's his second. How good's this, he says.
There we go. None of the defenders went that time, but everyone else did again. So he has provided a good spark for them. He's come on, made an impact now. 4 disposals, a couple of goals. And
what if he kicks 4?
I think he's going to get a go next week. I think they should give him a full hit out next week. See how he goes. He could be a good little spark for them in
Wilson
the
goes
next few
for
weeks.
there and not the spoil.
Playing the Saints. Chance for a full hit out, I would have thought, for Rose next week from what we've seen in... I know it's only 10 minutes of his career, but he's shown a fair bit in terms of his step, Derm. The little things that you notice in these young players. He's got good speed, marks well overhead now, so...
He's not hitting the ball cleanly, even though he's got 2 goals.
No. Always plenty to work on.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to keep in. Yeah, was.
This is pretty humiliating for the Giants, isn't it, really?
They're cooked, mate.
Yeah.
You can see that now. What happens at the end of a season if you have a goal in sight and you know you're not going to make it? As the season rolls on, almost at the end, you fall over in the last 1 or 2 games, and you just know that you're fighting for nothing in the end, and you say, let's be brave and let's keep fighting it out. But as soon as you think along
here we
those
go,
lines,
Derm. Hang on. He's in it again. Sorry to interrupt.
Let's go for it, yeah.
It's just
as soon as you think along those lines, you're cooked.
Jack.
And he just took the practice shot then.
Yeah, unnecessarily kicked that one, but anyway. He's all smiles, isn't he?
He's loving it. So how old is this?
19.
19. This lad's 19. It's right now that we're looking at this kid running around in the best 7 or 8 minutes of his life.
Oh, Goods has almost kicked an accidental goal there, but it's only a minor.
He's been very solid today. 22 disposals.
Been good.
The work coming in as the big body behind the stoppage has been very effective from Adam Goods today.
John Patton. So it's all hands on deck. Back to the wing. Lob over the top. Pike. It's a little more than training at the moment for the Swans. Lloyd, oh, that's well held. It's another one of the young Swans trying desperately to stake his claim for a final spot. Brandon Jack. Tippett wants it up high. He gets what he's after. Can he leap up and mark? He pushed a few over. And here's Heath Shaw doing his best to defy, but he had nothing to go to. Waited for Ward to go streaming out, and Ward get there, and then ran straight into a heap of trouble. Finds Palmer, who doesn't have a lot to go to next. So it's around the corner, more on a hunch than anything. Shaw. Reese into half forward. Adam Goods. Tippett leads into the pocket. Goods puts it on his chest. He had to reach up with the arms. The umpire didn't pay it. Hanbury. Here's Rose again. Blossing him before our eyes. He's kicked his third. Spring must have sprung early as Rose kicks his third.
What about that? You come into the game, your first kick's just a little dingy one out the wing here. You have 3 kicks and they're all goals. What a display from the young man. And that is a good finish, Derm.
That's a good step.
Yeah. That's a very good finish. He's been wandering around by himself for the last few minutes anyway, so he can find it.
How happy is this kid?
Yeah, look at that.
How easy is this paper?
He's thinking, what?
He might have played the whole game. Might have 12.
Nick Davis said, I spoke to him at 3/4 time. He goes, you know what, this guy's got a bag of tricks. He's very lively. It's been unbelievable.
Surprised you talked to Nick Davis, Moons.
Well,
Here's Goods coming through. And a chance for GWS. The margin is 81 points. Griffin puts one on and goes short. And Jeremy Cameron, who's found it hard to get clear of Ted Richards, takes the mark.
Oh, geez, the umpire's given Jeremy Cameron an extra 2 metres there, which could be the difference between hitting the line or not. I reckon he marked that half a metre outside 50.
Maybe it's from where he started marking it rather than when he finished marking it.
The fumble.
The kick, he went close to the man on the mark. A few extra centimetres helped. It's through.
That was through anyway, didn't matter.
Frustrating day. You can see how annoyed Jeremy Cameron is. He's put it through for his third.
I was just watching him closely because he reached for the back of his hammy after that kick, but he's just going there again now. I think it might just be obviously a little bit of cramp more than anything else, the fatigue of these players at the end of a season, end of these games, these hot days. He was outside 50, Derm.
Yeah, that's the first bit of dare a midfielder has truly shown out of the centre square, centre bounce from Giants. Yeah, he got lucky with the man on the mark, but he had the distance covered anyway. Well done by Griffin. Took a bit of dare, took a bit of dash out of the middle there, spotted up the kick.
Play on. Play on.
Could have been a free to Griffin, but instead it's go. We've seen this before today. Tippett. It's a long, long bomb. Shaw might have this covered. Towers.
All clear. Staying quickly out, mate. Blue spot. Happens every time.
19,500 turn up
Blue spot, Harry. Blue spot.
for the game here today.
Play on.
Do you think Rose has done enough for Moons to go to him post-game?
Be a good interview. It'd be a great interview.
Josh Kennedy, we've heard from him before, 33 disposals. Jared McVeigh, week in, week out, 31.
my big fella Tippy, he's kicked 5.
Okay,
you might get the nod.
Yeah, true.
Stay there, Kevin. Yep. Which side you're coming down, Mitch? Right.
So he needs another one, you're saying, Moons, eh?
If he gets one more, I'll get them both.
Righto.
Play on. Play on. He helps out. Yep. Play on.
Half forward. Oh, Cameron, you could hear the gasp from the crowd. It could have been another real opportunity for a late Giant goal. Rampy has Cunningham on offer. Just claims it. slow path out this time.
Oh, they've got plenty of numbers out here. Palmer's identified. Jetta, I thought, was going to be able to sneak out the back, and
Grundy goes to him anyway.
Goes there.
Gee, there's an adventurous kick. If it clears, they'll be okay. Reed knew what to do. Got the handball to Jack. Everyone just disappeared, and his kick wasn't great. Phillips takes the mark in response. So Richmond have had a big win today over Collingwood, and Sydney warming up here for the finals with a 76-point victory. It's going to be interesting that the various teams contending what their paths are to the finals, who has the momentum, and there's a 50-metre penalty. Going to get Grundy into reasonably uncharted territory for him.
He wasn't forward when he first came in.
Started, I think, with a bag of 3.
It's fair to say he's lost his mobility from those days as a forward. More of a body-style player now.
Thanks, Stephen.
Play a bit of body on the opposition, push them off the drop of the ball.
Hold there, Thomas, play on.
Lloyd, and the setup complete. Zach Jones. He's tugged that way left.
Pretty poor footy by the Giants to allow that to happen, and pretty poor execution just with the kick.
Gotta get away a bit quicker.
Why can't you do that?
Back to line, back to line.
You do that anywhere else on the ground.
Toby Green in the back pocket. Takes them to the wing. One-on-one, Patton and Pike. Callum Ward been quiet since a strong first half, but hasn't had much impact in the second. Had to rush the handball. Still kept the motion going until then.
Down.
Fantastic hunt from Cunningham. He's had a big day with 3 goals. Got plenty on offer. Goes short to Brandon Jack. To Hanbury. Kennedy's come off the bench. Timely. Running into the right spot. Rose is too close to him to kick to. Jetta looking for a free in the square. Fist is on. Now, Ward couldn't quite round it out. Williams finds McCarthy. We're down to 3:30.
Jones has been good today. Also, Brandon Jack, some of the younger players. Isaac Heaney's had his good moments in this game. Towers has led up at times and provided a pretty good target. So, from the younger players for Sydney, they'll be very, very happy. Here's one over the top again. Possibly to Jack. No.
All he needed to do was put a ribbon on that one. That was... Kennedy was not even in his wildest dreams was he thinking that was going to come to him. Just happened to be standing there.
34, 13 uncontested, 21 contested today.
He's a marvellous player. His 35th disposal of the day. Brings up his 2nd goal, and the Swans 19th.
Yeah, he's had a great game across the board. Himself, McVeigh through the middle of the ground. You can see them just getting together there. But from the first quarter term, I think that he was the one midfielder for Sydney that set that tone.
Yeah. He was reading the ball from the hands of the ruckman before anyone else on the ground could get a fix anywhere near it.
I know you've got the job of the voting for the Brett Kirk medal. Derm, I reckon that bloke Kennedy might...
He might be in there somewhere.
In the mix. I know it's very confidential and all.
Well, they're out to an 82-point lead now. Back in that second quarter, remember when they weren't putting away? Rose gets on the ball again.
And he's man on the marks. I reckon he's pulled a hamstring or something. Hoskin Elliott. Good's going to mark this one.
Yeah, when they were a couple of goals to about 4 goals down, 20-something points in the second quarter, and they were peppering away, but weren't taking full tilt odds on that, and they weren't getting everything that was on offer. It had the smell of a big win.
So Adam Goods joins the party. 24 disposal, and he now has kicked a goal as well. Plenty of joy for the Sydney Swans. It's a huge victory coming up. 88 points the margin.
Huge margin. Hoskin Elliott just walking off the ground. He was the one who just pulled up a little bit sore when Rose was coming for the mark. You just see there, top of screen, right on the point of the square. He just couldn't go.
Well, remember, he got run down about 90 seconds ago in the middle of the ground on a tackle, and he was at full stretch when he got run down. You just wonder whether that something might have been weakened then.
In the sort of that knee area.
Yeah. I remember how Chris Judd did his hamstring 2 years ago when he came back and just a push on the kick. Well, Hoskin Elliott got run down from behind.
They're working on his knee by the look of that.
Okay, that's something else. Scrap that theory. Juddy's not injured. Well, actually, he did go with the knee too, didn't he? Let's have a look at that rundown. Was there anything here?
Here it is.
So,
away.
bang, bang, bang.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, knees drive in. That doesn't really show any concern to it, but that's more of a violent action on that area.
Brandon Jack stripped of it. Here's Towers. Jack gets it out. Here's Goods again. He wouldn't want another. He loses it. Tries to retrieve it. Nathan Wilson hasn't been the worst. Ward stretches the handball. Patton. Bit of a standoff.
He's got some talent, young Rory Lobb there. And Grundy's very good at where he puts his body. But after the initial first contact with the footy, he was in front of Grundy. And by the time the ball goes over, he's actually placed himself in the back position. So he gives up the front spot at the ball too easily.
Well, they've made up about half the ground they need to make up percentage-wise against the Bulldogs. And they've got a couple of matches to come where they could have big wins. They've got the Saints next week, the Swans.
Then the Gold Coast.
And then the Gold Coast. So if percentage comes down to it, every goal might still count. And they look like they are a chance for more. Jenna with the crowd roaring. And it's a free to Tippet, I reckon.
So Big Jonathan's back there now.
Kurtz had to go and get his own ball. You reckon the young fella there, Rose, would have just wandered over and helped out one of his senior teammates?
Not on your life if you've got three. It was against Patfull.
Just there, the hold.
Moons, did you get many like that, Moons? Cam Mooney, I'm looking at him down there. He hasn't got his mic anywhere near him. We'll come to you after this kick, Moons, about the free kicks.
This for 6. Kurt Tippett. Oh, he's hit the post.
How many free kicks?
And to answer your question, too, no, you don't get too many of those, in all honesty. So, but it was there. You'd like to see more of those being paid if you're a forward.
Of course you would.
Way too much holding going on from defenders, I believe.
Move on.
Wilson, gee, he can kick the ball a long way. Middle of the ground, rounded up. The Swans is coming back in again. Only seconds remaining. Oh, Heath Shaw. Outstanding play. Chips for Ward. Kicks it up to the wing. And the siren about to sound. On a wonderful day out for the Sydney Swans. They've just reminded the Giants how hard and how long this journey is to play finals football. Sydney will be there. Kurt Tippett with 5 goals. The old James Rose, the young man, the #1 on debut. Fantastic start to his AFL career with 3 goals. The Swans a big win by 89 points, and they still have their eyes on the double chance and the prize.
We've got the great Cam Mooney making his way out there, and he just walked past young James Rose, and I reckon Rose tried to follow Moons.
I reckon if Moons is any good, he'll get Rose as well, but let's get down to him.
Tibbo, fantastic performance from you guys. We're 3 out of the last 4. You seem to be hitting some amazing form.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's been amazing, but look, we're continuing to build and to work on some things in our game, and you know, we needed a big performance today, and we were able to muster one, so that was pleasing.
that third quarter, you just got the results from all the hard work that you did. But in that second quarter, you just couldn't quite put it on the board, but the third you did, and that's what probably when the game blew away.
Yeah, the second quarter was a little bit frustrating in that sense. We weren't able to put the score on the board, but the start of the third quarter was really positive for us. We were able to get some momentum out of the centre, and the boys finished off in front of goal. So.
All right, this young fella over here just decided to kick 3 on debut. Mate, how sensational was that?
Yeah, it's pretty special to be able to contribute to such a good win, especially this time of year.
And even Tippet gets a free kick. You don't even bother going chasing his ball anymore because you've kicked 3 yourself. You don't need to do that anymore.
Nah, he's a big boy. He can do it himself.
Mate, you got mum and dad here?
Yeah, they flew up this morning. It's actually Mum's birthday, so shout out to her. Happy birthday, Mum.
Mate, you must be thinking this game's pretty easy. You've just come on, 6 possessions, 3 goals, mate. Congratulations. Fantastic debut.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Good stuff, Boots, and great stuff for the Sydney Swans. Real joy, the joy of a young man on debut, and the joy of finals that's coming very soon for the Swans. An 89-point victory, Sandy Roberts, a very convincing one.
Emphatic, Hutto. Thank you for that. Well done. Yes, 2 percentage builders so far today. We've seen Richmond win by a massive margin over Collingwood, and now the Sydney Swans 89-point victors. They've got St Kilda next week and then the Suns to round out their home and away season. That percentage will help them. In fact, if you have a look at the ladder, we can see now that Sydney has returned to the top 4 at the expense of the Western Bulldogs. Of course, the Dogs still have to play, but they've got a very tough game over at Domain Stadium in the West against the West Coast Eagles. So good news there for Sydney. And remember the name James Rose. I think he's going to go places. It will be interesting and fascinating to watch his career unfold. We'll take a break. Stay with us. Still lots more to come.
You're watching Jeep Saturday Live on Fox.
They battle it out for the White Ribbon Cup, designed to make awareness of domestic violence against women, and Sydney Swans triumphant by 89 points. An emphatic win, and they certainly can't be discounted either. We'll have a look at the score combo. 20-13-133, Tippet 5. That's good news for Sydney. Cunningham 3, and Jason Rose on debut 3 goals. Cameron 3 for the Giants. They were disappointing, managing just 6 goals, 8. Heath Shaw was very good, and Josh Kennedy once again having a marvellous season for the Sydney Swans. He was busy, as was McVeigh and Goods. But in the end, it was Sydney far too good and winning by 89 points. So to the victors, the spoils. Sydney, because of that win, move into 4th place on the ladder, eyeing a double chance.